Welcome to the Academic Writing Amplified podcast. On this podcast, we believe that the culture of academia needs to change radically. Women and non-binary people are revolutionizing academia within institutions that were not built for us. If you're ready to reject the culture of overwork, kick guilt and overwhelm to the curb, and amplify your voice to make a real impact on your field without breaking down or burning out, you're in the right place. With our team of experienced writing coaches as co-hosts, we'll share insights and talk to inspiring guests to bring you the practical strategies, systems, and mindset shifts you need to find time to write, publish work you love, and design your career on your terms. And it all starts with writing. Let's go.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Academic Writing Amplified podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Mazak, and today I'm going to keep talking about project management tools versus skills. I can't wait to get back into it because I did a podcast episode not that long ago, maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, about skills versus tools in project management, specifically writing project management. And I've heard so much great feedback about it. And so I wanted to just say a little bit more. I think it's a concept that has really hit home. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on what project management tools can do for you. Since in the last episode that I talked about this, I kind of really talked about what they can't do and made the argument for why you have to build your writing project management skills before you look for a tool. But some of you are ready to look for a tool. So I just wanted to do a little episode here talking about what tools can do for you. All right. Before we start though, I want to say that tomorrow, okay, so this episode should be live on March 5th. Tomorrow, March 6th, we are holding an information session about our Navigate Your Writing Roadmap program. The next session of the program runs this summer. We're going to be enrolling in April. So we want everyone to get all the information, including new pricing. And by the way, the price is changing in a direction that not the direction you're thinking. Okay, so you're going to want to come to the info session tomorrow and hear the new price. I think you'll like it. The way that you can get or make sure that you have information about the information session is by being on the Navigate waitlist. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is go to scholarsvoice.org/navigate. At the top of the page, you'll see a bright pink button that says join the waitlist. Click on that, put in your email, and you will get the information about our information session happening tomorrow. Okay. And don't worry, we will be sending out a recording, but if you want the link and if you want to know about this summer's session of Navigate, which is a 12-week course, 12-week program that is designed to help women and non-binary professors clear their backlog of publications. Yes, that pipeline that has all those almost done things in it. You're going to pick one and publish it, or you're going to learn our method for clearing the whole thing. Yeah, so that you can have the career that you want to have and that you deserve to have. All right, let's talk about project management. Now, in my previous episode, I talked about writing project management skills versus tools. And to give you the thesis statement of that, many of you are trying to solve a lack of training in writing project management skills through choosing a project management tool, okay, a piece of software, a bullet journal, something that's going to help you manage your projects, but not skills. So back in that other episode, I emphasized the fact that you need to have project management skills. You need to have the most important one, which is discernment, to know what is important versus urgent and when to act on the important and when to act on the urgent. And those kinds of things. I named 5 project management skills that you need to have in place before you can look for project management tools. But I'm talking with my clients about project management, and some of them actually could use a tool. So I'm going to talk a little bit about selecting a project management tool and like the kinds of things to look for. I used to back in the day, and still is like the most, like the way that I'm found on YouTube the most, my best performing YouTube video is about using a software program called Trello to manage your publication pipeline. I used to even teach a course about it. I was really into it. It's not like that won't work, but same thing as before. If you're trying to solve a project management problem and you don't have project management skills, you're just using a tool, the tool won't ever solve your project management problem. So I stopped doing that, but there's a lot of information on my YouTube channel. Just search for my name about Trello. Now, Trello, since I was recommending it, might look different now. It got bought. The free version doesn't give you quite as much as it used to. So just things to keep in mind if you're considering Trello. But anyway, let's talk about project management tools. How you know that you need a project management tool. Here's one way. If you are working with other people, all right, if you are in a lab, if you are in a research group, if you are collaborating, if you have lots of students, and you're writing things or doing projects together, and you could be the blockage. So if at any point in the process of collaborating with other people, the whole project can't move forward because you need to do something, then that might mean you need some kind of project management tool or project management software so that you can be aware of when that's happening. Okay. So comes from a recent working with a one-on-one client who she said, oh, I just didn't know that the other person was waiting on me before they could move forward. And it was just like, I didn't have that task like flagged in any way. So software of many kinds can help you to know if somebody is waiting on you for something. First, I'm going to talk about how to know you might be a good candidate for finally choosing some kind of project management software. And then I'm going to talk about different options for software. All right. So that's one way. One thing that could be happening is that in your collaborations with people, your management of the project, you didn't realize that you were like the obstacle. All right. What else? Managing multiple projects at once. Okay. I know that all of you are managing many projects at once. Project management tools can be helpful if you have to work on various projects with various people. So again, if you're collaborating and you have many different projects going on and you need to see that the project is moving forward without you. In other words, there are tasks that are assigned to other people that are getting checked off. That is another great use for a project management tool. So for example, again, a lab or with students or whatever, and the students have to do something, like let's say your grad students have to run trials and you have to know when the trials are done. Having a project management tool that everybody's using that you can go and you can look and you can say, oh, this got done, but these are left. And then you can follow up with the person. That is very helpful. That way you don't have to do that kind of work over email, which is not the correct tool for knowing if things on a project have been done before or not. Or I should say it is the least efficient tool for that. So if you have a project that happens in various stages or like people have different parts of the project assigned to them and you need to know what has been done and what hasn't, project management tool can be very, very helpful. And I think also if you feel secure in your project management skills, it's time for a tool. Your up level is to really master and use a tool effectively. All right. So those are some reasons that you might decide it's time for you to implement a project management tool. But please go back and listen to my previous episode about this and do not invest in a project management tool. And what I mean by invest is whether time or money or both. Do not invest in a project management tool without having listened to the previous episode and having committed to working on the project management skills you need to a certain level of mastery before you try to match your current problems with a tool. Okay. So here's what I want to say about project management tools. There are many. There are so many. Back when I was teaching Trello, there actually weren't that many. There was Basecamp, there was Asana, there was Trello, but there wasn't as many as there are now. And especially out of the pandemic. And when I was teaching Trello, it was like 2017, maybe 2018. It's just a different world online now. Can we all agree? So now there's Monday and Notion and ClickUp and so many different things. And here's something else, including Google Sheets and the Google online suite of products, though not technically a project management tool, like a singular tool, right? You can use, a very simple project management tool. You could do that in a spreadsheet. Like, it is not unheard of, and many people only use spreadsheets for their project management. The tool itself doesn't have to be super complicated. What it has to do, and it actually doesn't have to be that powerful either. What it does have to do for academics is it has to match your problems, first of all. And second of all, it has to kind of match the way your brain works. The third thing it might have to do is be easy enough for you to get the people around you on board with it. Because if you are, like many of my examples today about why you might need a project management tool are about working with other people. And if you need to get other people to use the tool, then it needs to be, user friendly and nice to use and relatively easy. So having said all of those things, I'm not going to recommend a specific tool, but I am going to say that something like a bullet journal could be a project management tool. Obviously, bullet journal is just for you. And as I said, like the Google Suite, the combination of spreadsheets and the calendar, you can do a lot with that, in addition to all the actual programs that are out there. So a couple of things to do here. One is, to think about what are the systems that your university promotes or uses? Because, for example, I don't know what the Microsoft project management tool is called, but I'm sure there is one. And that if your campus is like a Microsoft campus, then you might have resources on your campus to help you set up and get trained on certain project management tools, right? So that is something to kind of look into first. Something to look into is okay, can I get somebody? I had a client who was working at a research center who had basically, to give you a picture of the problem, it was a research center. Many people at the research center were funded by soft money, so many different grants, but they were sharing a pool of people. So there were PIs, but then there would be other postdocs and students and other roles. But each one of those people would be working on more than one grant project, for example, or more than one research project. And so they would share their time between different PIs and projects. And that client used her university's technology resources and had somebody set her whole research center up in the project management tool and do trainings on the tool. So that's something to look into and think about. Another thing to think about is, are you going to use this tool just for you, or are you going to try to use it with other people, like with your students or whatever? I used to use Trello with my students for their thesis projects, so that each student would have a Trello board, and we would, in our in-person meetings, we would figure out what needed to be done. We would put dates on it, and then I could check in the Trello board to see what was moving through. I could share resources with them, and it would stay organized through the Trello board. I could assign them things, that kind of stuff. They could turn in things for feedback right directly into Trello. And then I could move it on to the your feedback's done column, and they could see it. And it just eliminated a lot of email back and forth and made this very organized place to park everything. Again, though, If you're going to do that, that means that the other person needs to know how to use the tool or be willing to learn how to use the tool. You might not need that. You might just need a tool for organizing yourself, right? And so, for example, you might still be collaborating with other people, but you're putting the things that you have to do inside the project management tool. And the tool is helping you organize those things, be able to see them, be able to keep resources kind of all together, that kind of thing. So a project management tool does not have to be complicated. Like I said, it could be a spreadsheet. It could be a bullet journal, but you have to consider, are you going to be collaborating with someone using the project management tool? Are you going to be managing somebody through the tool? What do you really need the tool to do for you? So to conclude, if I were to be a person thinking about selecting a project management tool, the first thing I would do is go listen to my previous episode about project management skills versus tools and make sure that you are developing those skills. Once you have those skills, you're going to notice the problems that a tool can solve instead of a problem that skills need to solve. All right. So the tool cannot prioritize things for you. You have to do that. I know that there are some AI tools out there that I think do actually do that, but beware, you have to feed that AI tool information. So you still are the one who has to decide what is urgent, what is important, when you're going to act on the urgent, when you're going to act on the important. So you really need the project management skills before you choose the tool, because you don't know the problems that you have until you have mastered at least some level the project management skills. Then what you need to do is say, okay, what are the problems I'm trying to solve with my project management tool? Don't think about the tools. You still haven't thought about the tools. First is your skills. Second is the problem that the tool needs to solve. So for example, the example I gave of you're holding up the project. So you need to know when somebody else is depending on you or waiting for you. That's actually a functionality of many project management tools, assigning projects to people and that kind of thing. So that's something, but don't worry about the tool yet. Just worry about the problem. So you want to make a list of all the problems. I need to have multiple projects going inside of the tool. I need to have a calendar functionality. I need to have alerts. I need to have the ability to pass documents through the tool. I need the ability to assign people stuff through the tool, whatever. Make a big list of the problems you're trying to solve with the tool. And then you can start to think about what tool might solve those problems. And a good way to do this is to ask around. Certainly, YouTube is you can go down a long rabbit hole of people explaining the different tools and is this better than that kind of thing. Definitely check with your university to see what they promote and what they offer training on. And don't be afraid to start with something very simple that you can create yourself, like a spreadsheet, and use that for a while before trying to fit a tool. I just would not rush to a project management tool, especially if you think it's going to save you so much time. It will, but eventually. It will, but only in two ways. It will after the appropriate amount of training and use of the tool. And then once you know how to use it, nothing is going to save you time if you don't open it. So that's the biggest problem with learning a project management tool and using a project management tool. The actual biggest problem is using it, is opening it and looking at it every day and letting it guide, using it to guide your work. So that's what I felt like I didn't get to say in my previous project management skills versus tool episode. So I hope you enjoyed this part 2. And I hope that you'll join us tomorrow, if you're listening in real time, tomorrow for the Navigate info session. An info session is just come ready to learn about what the program is about, who it's for, what it costs, the days it meets, the times, what the curriculum is, what the portal looks like inside, everything that you need to know in order to make a decision about the program. We will tell you, or I should say I will tell you on our information session tomorrow. And all you have to do is go to scholarsvoice.org/navigate and sign up for the wait list that is at the top of the screen at scholarsvoice.org/navigate. Find the pink button, join the wait list, and you will get information about the information session. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you so much for spending your valuable time supporting yourself and your writing by listening to this episode. If you like what you heard today, the best way to say thank you is to hop on over to Apple iTunes and write an honest review. The more reviews, the more amazing academic women and non-binary people will find this podcast. So go write one now.